Hello and welcome to Alexandria, Egypt. For millennia, this land has been shaped by the vision of pharaohs whose monumental pyramids stand as eternal testaments to human ambition and engineering prowess. Today, the same spirit of aspiration ignites this stage. Coming up is the men's final of the 2025 Pentathlon World Cup final, the culmination of a truly historic season, marking the full embrace of modern pentathlon's thrilling era. And while the ambition of our athletes rivals that of the ancients, so do the conditions. The brutal Egyptian sun is relentlessly beating down, transforming this grand arena into a crucible of champions. Those champions will begin with the fencing direct elimination round. 5 rounds of knockout fencing using the épée weapon before moving on to the 70-meter 8 obstacle course, where the athletes will go out in pairs racing against the clock. We move from the obstacle to the swim. 8 laps of this 25-meter pool, making up 200 meters. Freestyle racing, another discipline where the athletes will be looking for the fastest times. Points will be accumulated across those 3 disciplines, bringing them into the handicapped start of the laser run, the run-shoot combined. The athlete with the most points will start out first, and every modern pentathlon point behind will be a second handicap. There'll be 4 visits to the range, where the athletes must hit the target 5 times. On the final lap, the race will be on for positions 1, 2, and 3. Crossing the line first will be the new 2025 Pentathlon World Cup final champion. All happening in this amazing complex, and the Egyptians have got something to cheer about here as well, as they have a couple of medal contenders in the lineup. In fact, 3 Egyptians have made it through to this final. Only the strongest, the fastest, and the most resilient will prevail. And here is the lineup of 18. They are ranked for this event for the very first time based on their fencing performances in the 3 World Cups this season. Average of points gives them their ranking, and the middle of the group will be looking, as will the last grouping of 6, to be making moves up the ranks.
Soon, in few seconds, let's welcome.
That's what the prize is, as the athletes are ready to come out. Top-ranked athlete Valentin Belot from France, a 2-time Olympian, 2-time world champion, 32-year-old, had a little hiccup in the semi-finals in his fence, but raced from the back to qualify for this final. He's joined by teammate, another Olympian, 11th at Paris 2024. He had 2 top 10 finishes this season, Jean-Baptiste Morcia, sunglasses and all. 3 French athletes will join the 3 Egyptians. Hugo Fleureau, bronze medalist at the Budapest World Cup. He was a bronze medalist at the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires in 2018 too. Mihai Kolesar from Hungary, a 2-time World Cup silver medalist this season. He could well be in the mix. Another man that will be in the mix took gold at this event last year in Ankara, Turkey. Another Olympian, Seo Chang-won, and he'll fancy his chances in this lineup of 18. Just 16 years old, Akim Nedchik, the neutral athlete, finished 4th at the Budapest World Cup, and he was monstrous on the obstacle course in the semi-finals. He's followed by Ukrainian Roman Popov, junior world bronze medalist here at this venue last year.
Representing Italy, Roberto Micheli.
Roberto Micheli from Italy made every World Cup final this season. Nice finish of 11th in Hazardzik.
Individual neutral athlete, Vladislav
Vladislav Melkaziaro, the other neutral athlete in the lineup, just missed out on a medal at the Cairo World Cup, so he likes competing in Egypt. Next, Czechia's Mate Lukash made the final in Bulgaria at the World Cup in Hazardzik. Finished sixth at last year's World Championships. Republic of China's Bai Yangqian. Cue the roar of the crowd. And there they go. Mohamed Shaban competed at Paris 2024, finished 18th. 2023 World Cup final champion, looking to re-find his form at his teammate. He's very much fancied for this. Just took his second junior world title last weekend in Hungary. It's Mutas Mohammed. Marek Grich, he had a good laser run in the semi-finals, finished 7th at the 2022 World Cup final. Another Paris Olympian. Now, Titas Peronas from Lithuania, the 2023 Under-24 European bronze medalist. He'll be looking for a good fence, OCR, obstacle course race and swim. Give himself a chance. The third Egyptian getting another cheer from the crowd here. Another young Egyptian Under-19 world bronze medalist last year, Mohamed Hassan. The 2024 European champions up next from Hungary, Andras Gal. He finished 9th in Hazardzik, that was his best result this season. And completing the lineup from Spain, Pau Solamo. Finished 13th at the 2024 European Championships, which is an illustration that he can compete with the best.
Coming to the final. Good luck, let's go.
There they are, the magnificent 18 getting ready for the fence. We've met the athletes. I'm Karim Bashir, and joining me in the commentary box, Youth Olympic Games finalist from Africa, it's the leader, Van der Merwe. This is going to be a tight one, I think.
Yeah, we set for another action-packed day. We have the best of modern pentathlon. I would like to say the creme de la creme of pentathlon here, battling out for that World Cup final champion title.
Well, my appetite is voracious. The creme de la creme sounds delicious. We have an incomplete round of 32 to start in the fence. Two pieces are on the go. I'll be managing things on Egypt going up against Gal of Hungary. A leader will keep us updated on the B piece, which we'll see picture in picture in the top right of your screen, where Peronas of Lithuania will take on Solomo. This is épée fencing. The whole body is target. You've got to hit your opponent with the tip of your sword. It's a fight up to 5 hits, maximum of 60 seconds. And if you don't get to 5, the leading fencer will progress through to the next round. If the scores are tied, then the fencer with a higher ranking, in this case Hassan, who always starts on the right-hand side, will progress.
So it looks like Solomono of Spain picks up their first bout, their first point on piece B. Peronas on your right-hand side and Solomo on the left.
Well, Hassan got a big cheer from the crowd here as he scores his first point. Beautiful flash attack here from Hassan.
Peronas Peronis in the lead here. 2-1, 25 seconds left on the clock. Salomo goes for that attack, but it's Peronis who picks it up just on top of Salomo's hand.
Being pressed to the back of the piste. Hassan finally concedes a hit here on the A-piste.
4th point for Peronis. Less than 15 seconds on the clock for piece B.
3-1, 15 seconds to go.
It's absolutely brutally hot out here as Hassan lands on the redouble to go 4-1 up.
Well, on piece B, Peronis victorious and will be up next against Morsier of France.
And Hassan does the job here to the delight of the home crowd. Got in a flash in the middle there. Look at that, absolutely spectacular. They'll feint to the low line, a bit like a boxer faking with the left and then hitting with the right. He feinted to the low line and then went up top to chest, and Gal caught flat-footed. Hassan will stay on the piste here, but he moves over to the left-hand side because the higher seed comes on, and it's our first view of Valentin Belot, the highest-ranked fencer in the field, competing for France. Coming on the B-piste, Peronis stays on, and he goes up against the number 2 seed, Morsier.
Well, Morsier will be looking to redeem himself in this round of direct eliminations. He fell out in the first round of table of 16 in the semi-finals. He is the 2nd highest seeded fencer. And they're off on piece B.
There you go, having it top right of your screen. Leader taking us through Peronis and Morsier here. Hassan has his work cut out for him against Valentin Belot. And Belot taking the blade in circular cease, the circular movement, going anti-clockwise to pick up the right-hander's blade and take control of it before landing the hit. Classic épée hit, that one.
Well, it was close quarters on piece B, but no point. They'll start with ref called Holt. Seems like there's some timing issue on piece B.
Meanwhile, here on piste A, Belot showing his variety there with a cart parry riposte. Cart is a windscreen wiper type parry going across the body in the top line.
40.
Beautifully launched and well-timed attack from Hassan to get off the mark.
Well, trouble here for Peronis as he receives his first yellow card. This is a warning, so his second yellow card will be a red one, but it's a flash from Morsier. Double lights, scores 2-1.
Hassan now having to press just a little bit harder as the time starts to tick away. He needs 2 hits to progress. One is not enough because Belot is the higher seed. If it was to finish on even scores, Belot would be the one to progress.
Well, Peronis responds to that first warning with a tackle lunge. Even the score is 2-2. Morsier goes for the flesh, doesn't quite get it. They'll start with a ref called Holt. Morsier looking to, and it's a red card for Peronis. So there could be core-on-core, body-to-body collision, but it looks like the ref is saying he turned his head towards Morsier, so that's a point taken off from Peronis.
Yeah, that's a safety rule, that one. You can't turn the back of your head because the mask doesn't cover the back of your head, and you'll be at threat, so it is against the rules. We've had a change of weapon here for Hassan, and he comes back onto the piste. I saw him sneak in a little drink there as well. Not a surprise, really. The sun beating down on the fences on the left-hand side.
And it's Morsier with that flesh attack. That's what he needs to win this bout. He'll be through to the quarterfinals to say goodbye to Peronis.
Huge roar from the crowd here as Hassan draws level. Hassan has to go for this. He won't go through at 3-3. He's got to go. What's he doing? Come on. Mohammed Hassan finally launches an attack, but from too far away. And the clock has run out as he finishes his flesh attack. And I don't think he was aware of how little time he had left, because Bello has progressed. Well, having a debate with the referee, saying that the clock needs to have a couple more seconds put back on it because he called halt beforehand. Good try. Referee has none of it. Below, the top seed progresses to the quarterfinals.
Well done.
That flash from just too far away as the clock ran down.
Let's welcome our next athlete in round 16 on the right side.
Well, soon to commence on Piece B, we have Popov of Ukraine and Lucas of Czechia. They're just making their way to the piece now. We'll start in a few seconds.
On A, we have Michele against Mel Casioro.
5-2.
Italy.
Is the winning.
Mel Casioro, a neutral athlete competing here in this World Cup final. I've just noticed off to the sidelines, we won't see it on camera, one of the Chinese coaches is filming all the action on the B piece, preparing for if Chen makes it through in the bottom half of the draw. Analysing the bouts beforehand. We're underway here on the A piece though. Michele on the right, well, Casioro on the left, and it's Michele with the higher seed.
Action commences on Piece B. Lucas on your left and Popov on your right. Still no point here, but it's early said. Popov picks up that first point within the first 15 seconds.
Well, Casioro manages to score first here on the A piece with remise of his attack. Remise is a follow-up attack, if you like, a second go. Second bite of the cherry. And this time, a beat parry riposte with his body turning away from his opponent, making the target disappear behind his front shoulder.
And it's the first point for Lucas. Score 2-1 for Popov. First, and only 24 seconds left on the clock. Popov really comfortable here.
Kelly here has his work cut out for him. He is the highest seed, so he only needs 1 point. But time is running away from him, and Mel Casioro smells the opportunity to take out the higher seed here.
What looks like Lucas is threatening Popov in this bout. Less than 8 seconds left. He's looking for a comeback. Double point, less than 5 seconds left on Piece B. Tension is building here.
Well, Mel Casioro has gone through. He has upset the seeding somewhat.
It was Lucas who launched himself into attack, but it was red light for him. So if this bout times out, it will be Popov's victory. And as Popov just needs that straight arm onto target, brilliant stuff from Popov. We say goodbye to Lucas. Popov up next against Morsier, France in the quarterfinals.
Well, fabulous replay there of Mel Casioro taking out Michele. And now we have the Egyptian Mohammed Shaban on the left-hand side, and he is taking on Seo, the Korean, on the left. Seo Changwon from Korea, the higher seed.
Well, on Piece B, we have Chen of China and Nechik, neutral athletes.
For Shaban, Egypt. 1-0. 42 seconds to go.
Shaban getting that cheer from the crowd, but he's being ultra cautious here against Seo. And he needs to be. Seo, the number 5 seed here for the fence. Shaban down at number 12, trying to find the form he had a couple of years back. And that's a nice control of the blade there from the Korean to level up.
Well, Nechik tried to go for that flesh, but Chen ducked right in time for 2 double lights. The score still 2-2, 32 seconds left on the clock.
And Korea 2. Egypt 1.
Excellent flesh from Chen. Nechik in trouble here.
Well, Sio's got himself out of trouble, and the Koreans
10, 9,
trying to battle with the Egyptians in the crowd, trying to cheer Sio on, but he's now pretty much secured his position in the top 8 here. Shaban's going to have to go after it with the clock counting down. That hit will not count, as Shaban had gone past Sio.
6.12.
Well, the score is 4-4 on PSP, less than 3 seconds left on the clock. Nechik in a priority position here.
4-2.
Chen just straightening his blade before going on guard, and he's asking to swap his weapon. Is this a tactical play from Chen to refocus before going on guard again?
Could well be, as Shaban really desperate to fight back. He's got to score 2 points. He's only got 3.4 seconds left. Making a fight of it. Oh, now you talk about gamesmanship. Sio there putting his hand up as the referee had said, allez, go. The French language used in fencing. And that will just taken a little bit of time off the clock. And that is what Shaban is saying. You need to add that time back on.
Whoa, oh, it's building up on PSP. Third double light in a row, and it does not count because you need that first one to 5. Nechik will go towards the back of the piece as it clocks out. Victory for Nechik as he moves on to the quarterfinals.
As does Sio, who doubles out against Shaban. Perhaps a little gamesmanship from him to kill some time on the clock. With only 3.4 seconds on the clock. Sio seemed to let the referee say allez and then put his hand up to say, oh, I'm not quite ready. Referee compelled to stop the fight, but nearly 2 seconds expired on the clock there. Sio going through and coming out on the feature piece, Mutas Mohammed, and he'll take on Mihaili Kolasar, Egypt versus Hungary.
Well, in Piece B, we are waiting for the start of Fleureau of France and Grich, Czechia athlete. Fleureau, the 3rd highest seeded fencer, and Grich, the 14th highest seeded fencer. So, Grich looking to continue in this direct elimination round, but it's Fleureau in a better position.
Interesting to see that the French are the top 3 in the rankings. 2 of them have made it through. Can Fleureau join them? Here we go. Last of the round of 16 matches, both underway.
50.
And that's first point for Grich.
40.
Looked like it was quite close quarters there. Fleureau went for that parry for and Remise, but didn't quite get it. It was Grich who picked that first point up, and Grich goes for the flesh, doesn't get it. And Fleureau got that one action as Grich passed. It is Fleureau's point. Scores 1-1, 38 seconds left on the clock.
Well, that hit was annulled. The referee calling halt for barging from Mohammed here on the A piece, so no score yet, even though Kolasar did land a hit on the valid target area.
Equality so far.
Light footwork here from Fleureau. He's waiting for Grich's attack. He goes for that disengaged lunge, but it's Fleureau who responds, scores 2-2. 13 seconds on the clock here.
Between Mihaili Kolasar, Hungary, and Egypt, Mohammed.
Doubles in favor for Fleureau. It is Grich who's looking for that single light. Double point.
Got a little pause here on the A piece as the clock continued to tick away there. The referee having to just count it back from 60 down to just inside 40 seconds.
Well, Gritch went for that flash attack and Floro blocked it off with that parry 4 once again. Floro's going to play with time here. It's less, and as we said, time's out. Victory for Floro. He's the highest seeded fencer. Moves on to the quarterfinals against Nechik.
So the B piste has done its job here at the World Cup final, as all the fencing now will take place on the A piste. But we've still got this round of 16 match underway. Neither athlete has scored yet. Kolasar, the 4th ranked fencer, is able to just contain at the moment. But at some point, Mohammed is going to go for this, and he takes a circular season, drives it up into Preem, takes hold of his opponent's blade, and then as he moves his wrist up and the guard up into the high line, he steps into distance, and now he's got control of this fight. The number 4 seed in desperate trouble. It's a risk you take by letting the clock count down without scoring hit, even if you are the higher seed. Getting a point really does put the pressure on your opponent. Kolasar made a tactical error here. He's still got time to close this one up, but he has to go only in one direction, and he does so successfully. Gets back to 1. Just needs 1 now, Kolasar, for the pressure to switch back over to Mohammed. Oh, beat attack this time. There was nothing that Mohammed could do on the defense there. Needs to move his feet just a little bit sharper than that. Oh, and this time it's Mohammed having to take the risk because he needs to have the higher score, and Kolasar steps in, second intention, draws the attack, parry riposte. Nice 3rd hit from Kolasar there. Set a trap for Mohammed, and Mohammed walked right into it.
7, 6, 3, 2.
6 seconds. Mohammed needs 2 points here. And such a strong hand from the Hungarian there. Despite Mohammed's beat on the blade, Kolasar was strong and kept the point, pointing at his opponent's target.
5 seconds to go. 4, 2.
Well, Mohammed's going to run out of time here. Taking a bit of a knock guard to guard there. Kolasar just feeling that. Like a sprinter in the blocks, Mohammed comes out. He still needs 2 points here. 1 is not enough. Well, they're running into his opponent now. Will the referee annul this hit for barging? Because Mohammed seemed to have run into his opponent before landing the hit up in Preem, and he's taken him out here. Look at this. There's no hit at this point. Runs into his shoulder. That's accidental shoulder to chin. And I think if we play by the rules here, the referee should annul that hit. At the moment, it stands at 4-4. But Kolasar wore that barge massively. Apology there from Mohammed. And it looks like Kolasar has been awarded that hit and does go through. Kolasar into the 8. The barge there causing him a little bit of problem. Happens often in épée. It was a great fight back from Mohammed, but in the end, just a little too late. Not enough time on the clock to go ahead in the fight. And this was the sprint into his opponent, and well, it's completely accidental. It looks worse than it was. Kolasar just getting a little shoulder barge to the throat. It's got a bit of time to recover now as we move on to the quarter-finals. Fence running through super quick, and Bello, the number 1 seed on the right-hand side, will take on Mel Kazioro. And joining me on piste Alida van der Merwe.
Whew, some action there on piece A. Well, these two athletes commence for the start of the quarterfinals. Below with the French grip, looking for those direct actions, as we've called it for that flesh, but as Marcus Zoy just nips it on his hand there. But it looks like they're just checking his point. So if you ask to check your blade, you have to check your body wire connected to your glove and to your body wire behind you. And it's all plugged in.
Make sure the wires are connected to the spool, then test the point. If the point fails, that hit would have been annulled, but it didn't in this case. And Kazoru is having a run here. Took out Michele in the last round, and now he's taking out the highest seeded below. Early days though, still 30 seconds to go in this quarterfinal matchup. Oh, amazing stuff there.
Well, what incredible from Marcus Zoy. He went for that lunge and extended into a flesh attack. Just lost a bit of footing, but he just reached it and got that point. Excellent from Marcus Zoy. 25 seconds below, setting up an attack.
Well, he does like that recovery forwards, doesn't he, the neutral athlete? That's the second time he's done it. The last time it was that lunge, as the leader said, bringing the back foot up and turning it into a flesh. That was a two-step into a lunge and then flesh. And Marcus Zoy is in a great position here to take out the #1 seed. Just one away. And the thing about him is he's remaining aggressive through the fight, even though he had the lead. Absolutely superb stuff. Marcus Zoy going through to the semi-finals.
Really nailing that element of surprise with those attacks. But just watch the footwork there. He does a lunge, follows through. That was the first point.
This is the one that he turned into a flesh. Back flying through the air. He literally was an arrow there.
Awesome airtime from Marcus Zoy.
So, one French fencer down. And that's the top seed. Now comes the second seed. He takes on Popov from Ukraine. Popov ranked #7 on the left-hand side. And here is Jean-Baptiste Morcia. Now the highest ranked fencer left in the competition.
Well, we've got a sneak peek into Popov's fencing. He's really great with those hand touches and just that control he has with the blade. So look out for those from Popov, but it's Morcia looking to make it through to the final round. Morcia just playing with the distance, that inwards and outwards footwork, drawing Popov in. He wants to draw him towards the back of the piece. Excellent from Morcia, just a flick onto Popov.
38 seconds.
Really unpredictable movements from Morcia. Double point, sort of that unpredictable forward backwards, really just trying to eventually draw Popov in towards the back of the piece where he can flesh on his attack.
Yeah, the dancing footwork of the Frenchman working beautifully here. It gets hypnotic for the opponent if you're bouncing in and out of what's known in fencing as distance. And that time just sucked him in. You see it. Not going down the same route as Bello. Oh, tried a lovely little hit there. Bo goes over the back line though.
Yep, so athletes have to be aware of that back line at the back of the piece. If your front foot goes over that line, it is a point for the other opponent. Morcia goes for another flesh attack, but it's victory for Morcia. I'd almost like to say Popov also plays that game of drawing his opponent in, and when it's reverse rolled, it doesn't really work for him.
No, and I think that's probably down to the fact that, as we talked about throughout this competition, getting that vital lead makes a big difference on how much you can set up your next hit. If you're trailing, as time ticks away, the pressure builds that you have to do something. Now we go to the third of our quarterfinals as Nedchik, easy for me to say, the neutral athlete takes on Chen Bai Liang. Sorry, Nedchik takes on Hugo Fleureau. We've lost one French fencer in Bello, the top seed. Second seed, Morcia, has gone through, and now we have seed number 3 from France on the right-hand side. The remaining French athletes are in the same half as the draw, so only one of them can make the final. Can Fleureau follow Morcia into the bottom half of the draw and the semi-finals?
Fleureau, the Budapest bronze medalist of this World Cup series. Nedchik just 4th place in the Budapest World Cup, missed out on that medal, but it's Fleureau with that flash attack. Picks up that first point within the first 15 seconds.
Well, you know for sure that Fleureau would have been looking at Nedchik's fence in the semi-finals because he performed really well. He's very unorthodox, doesn't look like a conventional fencer, especially with that back foot pointing in the same direction as his front foot, but he's very effective with that front elbow, the sword arm elbow, tucked in and neatly packed away.
Nedchik goes for that flash. Fleureau picks up that point. Nedchik really needs to set up an attack, switch things up now if he wants to make a comeback.
Well, tried a bit of second intention there, Akim Nedchik, but Fleureau was strong to it. He was sharp in the response. He fell into the trap, but was able to get out of it. Nice 4th hit for Fleureau. Nedchik getting one back, a little bit of a gift-wrapped hit there for him. Fleureau doesn't need to take any risks here.
10, 9.
But he does as he launches himself with that flash. Victory for Fleureau. On to the semi-finals for the Frenchman.
Yeah, and he'll face his teammate in that bottom half of the draw. So we have one more quarterfinal to come. And here you see Nedchik trying to set that trap. But Fleureau's so strong, that circular cease binding into Octave, and he progresses through. It confirms that we'll have one French fencer in the finals because the remaining 2 French fencers fence each other in the semi-finals. Top half of the draw, this a matchup to face Mel Kazioro, a neutral athlete who's taken out 2 higher seeded fencers on his way to the semi-finals. This is a matchup between Sio and Kolosar. Kolosar, the higher ranked fencer on the right-hand side, representing Hungary.
Well, Kolosar picked up 2 silvers this season, the first Cairo World Cup and the Budapest World Cup. But it's Seo who's also a gold medalist in previous World Cups, so best of the best up against each other. May the best fencer win. Seo pushing Kolosar towards the back of the piece. Kolosar has to take care of his front foot, but goes for the foot, and it's Seo gets him on the top of his arm. Risky stuff from Kolosar.
Great execution though from the Korean.
See the switch up between applying pressure now. Kolosar launches for that lunge. He thinks he's got it, but it's a double light. 2-1 for Seo. Kolosar looking for a comeback. He straightens his blade out. Gets time to reset his game plan.
32.
Beautiful stuff from the Hungarian there. He lured the Korean into an unprepared attack.
Oh, Excellent from Kolozar. That straight arm on to target. That's all about timing. It's all about rhythm and target control. Excellent, Kolozar. 3-2 lead for Kolozar. Less than 20 seconds on the clock. Seo setting up that attack with his change in parries. But it's Kolozar is ready. Goes for that lunge again, but it's Seo who responds.
Kolozar keeping very, very tight distance here. And he's using that to try and create opportunities for himself. But it looks like Seo has just about worked it out. Now Kolozar has to go for it and does. Oh, Kolozar's put himself in the box seat here. Seo needs 2 hits to progress. 1 will not be enough as Kolozar is the higher seed. And there's just under 5 seconds left on the clock.
Seo applying pressure. It's close quarters. Oh, in and out. What a fight for that 5th point. Kolozar victorious. He will go through to the semi-finals up against Malkazurai. We're down to the top 4 athletes here in this fencing direct elimination. But look at those points these two have portrayed against each other. That takes his blade onto target. And you were right, it was that close distance that he put himself in, where he could just really get that blocking of Seo's blade.
Yeah, it's a gamble, but it's a gamble that paid off because he trusts his hand movement, and we saw from that brilliant slow motion replay his ability to get that tip underneath his opponent's blade in the circular cease movement through to make it into the semi-finals. And Kolozar will stay on the piste. He stays on the right-hand side as he prepares for his semi-final against the Giant Killer. Malkazurai, ranked 9th, has taken out Michele, ranked 8th, and then the top seed below in the last round.
Looks like Kolozar is calling for some water. Not sure if he'll get that in time. Malkazurai looking cool with the sunglasses on. It's just to block out that glare that you see with the fencing mask on. Kolozar with the glasses too.
Yeah, the sun perhaps slightly more in the eyes of Malkazurai. But like you say, the glare off the metal piste doesn't help these athletes. And I tell you what, it's blooming hot though. Those pistes are hot.
Yeah, well, I mean, fair call from Kolozar for a water break, and he also just came on fresh from the previous bout.
So here we go. Place in the final up for grabs here.
Malkazurai launches for that foot touch. Great retreat with his front foot.
Kolozar staying close again here. Distance he is making means that he is basically setting his opponent up either for trapping them on the attack or getting himself close enough that he feels comfortable enough to launch his own attack.
He's great at getting control of the bout and control of the distance. Malkazurai looking for those lunges again, but we know he can lunge and retreat and flesh, but it's a prim from Malkazurai just on that second action. So a prim is that lifting of the elbow and switching of your hand onto body. Scores 1-1, 35 seconds on the clock.
There is what the leader was referring to, getting hold of his opponent's blade there, Kolozar, to immediately go up. And I think Malkazurai will be a little bit annoyed with himself. He didn't set that up very well and just launched himself into a throw the kitchen sink at it type of attack. He does the same thing again, but gets away with it this time. Kolozar changing the line of his parry from the 6 parry across his body to the right to the 4 parry across his body to the left, but couldn't land the riposte. What do they say? When things aren't quite going right, go back to the basics. Lovely beat attack there for the Hungarian to take the lead again.
bronze competition in the semi-finals.
Another foot attempt from Malkazore. He's not really getting those foot touches, is he? Because it's Kolazar just nips it on Malkazore's hand with a step back.
8.98, 4-2, the score.
Less than 9 seconds on the clock. Malkazore launches for the attack. Oh, he might get a yellow card for core. Kolazar just haven't been having any luck with that body collision today. He had a previous collision early on, and it is accidental, it's not on purpose, but it's those glasses that I'm scared of. Are they broken? Looks like, no.
Well, he's got one of those sports sunglasses where the arms pop out and they clip back in again. That was a big enough hit to cause a little bit of whiplash, and for the right arm of his glasses to come off. And like you say, he's been in the wars, hasn't he, in the fence? He had a clash with Mutas Muhammad in the quarterfinals. He had another one here. It's that close distance.
Well, it's definitely that, but just thinking of those glasses, I would be quite scared. And it's a point for Malkazore, searching for those variation of different parries to find a gap. Less than 6 seconds, Malkazore. Look at that prem from Kolazar, doesn't get it.
Well. 2.5 seconds left on the clock, and the neutral athlete has to go for this. He does, and eventually the higher seed wins against Malkazore. And Kolazar had another battle, but he's made it through to the fencing final here, the first of the disciplines at this World Cup final of 2025.
Look at that control from Kolazar, really drawing his athlete in for that last parry riposte onto target. 6 parry riposte, and Malkazore just let go of his arm there.
Good effort from the neutral athlete, Kolazar. Now out on piece, the two French fencers, Fleureau and Morsier, going up against each other. Morsier on the right-hand side is the higher seeded fencer. They will know each other really well, so this could be quite tight, this one.
Yeah, I mean, early on we saw the two of them having a warm-up bout on this exact same piece. It's difficult fencing against your own teammate.
But when you're 1, 2, and 3 in the rankings for the World Cup final, it's almost inevitable that you're going to progress far and deep into the competition along with your teammate. Not a bad problem for the French to have.
Goes for that duck, retreats, went for the foot retreat, and it's a flash for Fleureau, doesn't quite get it. Close quarters. So that green light was after halt. Still no score. Morsier towards the back of the piece. He'll have to take care of that back line. I'm sure he's aware of it because he just parries 6 and flicks onto Fleureau.
38 seconds.
Another duck from Fleureau.
There's a lovely hit from Morsier to force the double there. Followed the target and the tip to his ducking opponent.
Fleureau making use of all sorts of feints. Try not let Morsier predict his next move.
Oh, nearly scored there. Now, the hit will stand here because the final step to cross each other was from Morsier. With the momentum he had going forwards, that is why Fleureau was allowed one shot after they passed each other. Fleureau needs another one, though.
10 seconds, 9, equality,
Double point, less than 9 seconds left.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Gets untidy, but it's Fleureau managed to get past Morsier in those last few seconds before passing.
Looks like Fleurot is quite happy to get into a bit of a scrap here. I think he sees that as the way forward.
Green light for Morsier. Well, now we'll see Morsier moving towards the back of the piece and Fleurot launching himself because Fleurot has the priority.
Oh, I knew it was going to be tight. It did end up that the ranking was required because Morsier had a battle on his hands there, but he makes it through. The number 2 seed faces the number 4 seed in the fencing final here at the World Cup final. And right at the very beginning, sorry, that was when Morsier found himself down there. He went a bit agricultural with his fence, arm out, running forwards at his opponent to level up. And it was enough in the end for Morsier to make it through.
Well, I'll tell you what, Morsier is really redeeming himself. In the semi-final, he fell out in the first round of 16. And now in the finals up against Kolozov. And with the priority. This is your second and your third highest seeded fences. Sorry, 4th highest seeded fences. Kolozov 4th and Morsier 2nd highest seeded.
Here we go then. Final time in the fence. Morsier on the right, taking on Kolosar. Kolosar has been fencing spectacularly well, keeping very, very close distance. Morsier will know his game though. Oh, that is a stunning first hit.
And Kolosar acknowledges that fencing finesse from Morsier. Class knows class.
Well, pressure on Kolosar to go for the attack. Perhaps they didn't need to launch it quite so quickly. Morsier now in the box seat for the fencing win, 2 points up.
Morsier has got Kolosar right where he needs him. Morsier is really great at luring his opponent in, but he switches it up for a flesh attack.
It's clever because your opponent who's trailing thinks you're just going to back off and be defensive. So if you can throw in a nice attack, well timed, it's got a good chance of scoring.
And just looking to get past, and it's a point for Morsier. What a run for Morsier in this fencing round. Kolosar just looking to fix his glasses again. Looks like they've fallen off.
I think Morsier looked at this fight and thought, I can't really sit around and wait. He had that issue with his teammate in the last round. He felt the way that Kolosar is fencing actively at that close distance, he's felt coming into this final that he needs to be the aggressor himself. And he's done it here, absolutely brilliant. Morsier has put on a show here in the fencing final. It was a great run from Kolosar as well. You've got to say, he's going to climb up through the rankings from his 4th place start. But Morsier was absolutely brilliant in that final. The first hit, a thing of beauty. The last hit does the job to move Morsier up to the top of the pile of 18 athletes here, all competing for a podium spot at the World Cup final. Great deal of respect between the athletes as well. And the athletes all enjoying the fact that there is quite a big crowd here watching this. This is the run that Morsier had from the bottom of the draw, taking out Peronis, Popov, his teammate Fleurot, before an excellent 5-0 bout against Kolosar in the final. The fence is done here for the men's final. And this is how things stand. Jean-Baptiste Morsier moving up a place into the top spot. Kolosar also moving up 2 places. Melchior Zioru has moved up 5 places. That is quite some run from him. Bello dropping 4, but don't rule the Frenchman out just yet. We know how good he is. Hakim Nedjic and Popov, along with Michele, dropping a place, with Lucas Chen and Shaban staying in position. Nedjic is one to watch out for, and the obstacles coming up next. Down at the bottom, looking to increase their positioning on the obstacle course. The 6 athletes will be ones to look out for in the next discipline, especially Mutas Muhammad, who's great on the obstacles. That's coming next, but before we go over there, let's take a look back at the fence. Time for the men to put their weapons away. Of the sword variety, as we move from the piste across the arena to the obstacle course. 70 meters, 8 obstacles to contend with before running up the final wall, the wall of death. The climbing grips are featured towards the end of the obstacle course. The Pentathlon World Cup final of 2025 men's final obstacle course is upon us, and we have got the athlete's view.
Well, shout out to Jana Atia, Egyptian modern pentathlete, showing us how it's done through the tilted ladders onto the over, under and through. Fifth part of the obstacles, the flying hoops. We'll be seeing that catch and release, or as we like to call it, laches, which ultimately means letting go. Giant steps straight into the climbing holds. A real test of grip endurance. And a finish sprint for the big wall onto the buzzer.
So they go out in 9 pairs, the athletes. It is a race against your opponent, but actually it's a race against the clock. Fastest time will get the most points. And we'll go in reverse order. So we will see Salomo and Gal take to the course first. And this is somewhat of a change of pace. The fencing does happen pretty quickly, only a minute per bout. But there's a little bit of thinking and tactics going on in that. There are some tactics in this, but it's more about how you tackle each obstacle. It is absolutely fast and furious. And the challenge here for these athletes, especially the ones going out first, is to get a clean run somewhere around 30 to 33 seconds will give them a good run at this. Can anyone go under 30 seconds? First out, Salomo in red on the far side, the dark shorts of Salomo against Andras Gal of Hungary, closest to us.
And they're off and away, giant wheels straight into the tilted ladders. Great stuff from Salomo, sticks that landing over, under and through. Gal keeping up to flying hoops. Look at those laches, just letting go. Brilliant stuff from Salomo. Goes for that second climbing hold. Rapid handwork here. Finish well for Salomo. It is 25 seconds for Salomo, but just sprint for Gal. And it's 31.7.
Great time from Salomo. Is that a new course record?
Don't think so. We've seen Nedjic set the course record of 23 seconds in the semi-finals. He'll be up further in the pack, so keep an eye out for Nedjic further on, but watch that technique from Salomo. That was more of a one-arm hold and release, transferring the body weight from the left hand to the right hand.
Next out, Mohammed Hassan, as we see Gal just finishing his run. There is Hassan, and he goes up against the Lithuanian Titas Paronas.
Off onto giant wheel, straight into the tilted ladders. Watch Hassan tackle this tilted ladders. Brilliant from Hassan. A leap, a duck, and a dive. Flying hoops for Hassan. Goes to that first part. Catch and release from Hassan. Quick feet on giant steps, straight into that second climbing hold. Hands like clockwork. Oh, almost misses that landing, but it's a quick recover for Hassan. 27 seconds for Hassan. And Paronas will be under 35. Just under 35 for Paronas. But look at that footwork from Hassan. Could have been a real detrimental to his performance.
Yeah, nearly fell back into the pit, and you're not allowed to put your foot inside that, and here we get that replay. He showed a huge amount of core strength there to stay balanced through that one. Oh, so close. It could have been a lot worse, but he's lost a bit of time. And Hassan safely through. Next up, Grich on the far side against Mohammed Mutas. Fasten your seatbelts, Mutas is sharp.
Tilted ladders, a real test of rhythm. Class from Mohammed, over, under, through. Grich keeping up to Mohammed. Mohammed onto the flying hoops. Watch that catch and release from Mohammed. Brilliant stuff. Onto the climbing holds. Rapid arms from Mohammed. Sprint finish for Mohammed. 27 seconds for Mohammed. And the crowd goes wild. You can really hear the Egyptian fans cheering him on.
Well, this is a lot tighter than it was in the semi-finals, isn't it? Everyone has been under 35 seconds so far. Fastest time set by Salomo in the first heat. But look at Mutas go. Just fabulous.
Lane A, Lane B, representing China.
Playing to the crowd there, Grich offering a hand as they congratulate each other. We have our next heat. Shaban for Egypt, far side, closest to us, Chen.
Well, it's a big wheel straight into the tilted ladders. Watch that one arm power catch and release from Chen. Over, under, through. It is Shaban and Chen, neck and neck, flying hoops. Watch that catch and release from Shaban. Sticks that landing. Flies through the giant steps. Climbing holds for Shaban. Hands moving like clockwork. Brilliant stuff from Shaban. Onwards and upwards. 26 seconds for Shaban. And Chen, 28 seconds.
The times are utterly supreme here. They have really stepped it up in the final. Everyone so tightly packed, and you have to say, well, as you see Chen just struggling on those flying hoops, you have to say that the advantage that the athletes from Egypt may have thought they'd get in this obstacle has been slightly eradicated. We saw Shaban just leaping over the last of the giant steps, both of them. Next out, Mate Lukas and Roberto Micheli. Micheli closest to us.
On from the big wheel, straight into the second tilted ladder for Lucas. A risk with a high reward, stuck that landing. Over, under, through for Lucas. Onto the flying hoops. Look at that lâcher from Lucas, brilliant.
Unbelievable.
Climbing holds. Hands moving like clockwork. Is this faster time, but it will be just under 28 seconds for Lucas. And Roberto Micheli clocks around 32 seconds.
Wow, this is amazing, isn't it? The athletes that are able to get through those flying hoops in 3 moves gain a huge advantage.
Well, it was Lucas who went for that second tilted ladder, but I think it was just that swing that cut him out with his time. But great from Lucas trying new things out on the course.
Super stuff. Not a bad time from Roberto Micheli, but bit behind his opponent. Now Roman Popov on the far side with the dark shorts up against Akim Nedchik closest to us.
Big wheel straight into that second tilted ladder from Nedchik. Amazing. Over, under, through for Nedchik. Flying hoops. Doesn't even touch those flying hoops. Brilliant stuff from Nedchik. Climbing holds. Snappy grip from Nedchik.
Oh, is he gonna
It is for a spot fast time. 23 seconds for Nedchik.
Ah, 23:30. That is a new course record by 0.2 of a second. He's beaten his own time on this course as Roman Popov comes through and clocks a time of 36:30. We knew Nedchik was going to be quick. We didn't realise he was going to be quite as quick as that. 23:30 is a clear 2 seconds faster than the second best placed athlete in the obstacles so far, and that's Pau Salomo of Spain.
Look how fast he moves through those flying hoops. Don't want to blink whilst you watch Nedchik.
Yeah, he's set the obstacles alight here in Alexandria. Next up, Seo from Korea against Bello of France. Bello closest to us.
Straight into those tilted ladders. Below making use of that one arm hold release. Seo and Below land neck and neck. Over, under, through. Flying hoops for these two athletes. Go to that second portion. That swing backwards and forward. Look at that momentum and drive. Below falling behind a bit. It's here on the steps below. Seo leading with those climbing holds. And it's a sprint finish for Seo to touch that finish buzzer. Below just struggling here on the climbing holds, taking it safe. He does not want an elimination. Holding on Below.
He came into these flying holds, or the climbing holds, way too quick and got a big swing off the first hold, and he is a little disappointed there with 51.36. Just didn't quite nail it, did he? And suffering a bit with his right hand in particular.
And welcome hit number 8.
Great shot there of Seo jumping for the buzzer, but it was these climbing holds that Bello struggled with. The very first one he came on and he swung his feet and his feet almost touched the second pair of grips. Bello in a bit of trouble now. Up next though, Mel Casorio and Fleureau closest to us.
Giant wheel straight into those tilted ladders. Below catching and releasing. Quick stuff from Below. Sorry, from Fleureau. Sticks that landing. Over, under, through for Fleureau. Onto the flying hoops. Another catch and release. Swing backwards and forwards for that finishing of the flying hoops. Giant steps onto the climbing holds. Goes for that second climbing hold. Snappy grip from Fleureau as he sticks that landing. Finish wall for Fleureau. Looks like Melchizora is just making his finish as well for a 35-second finish.
32.71 set by Fleureau. That's going to stick him down around about 12th place with 2 more athletes to come.
Number 9.
Yeah, just Fleureau lost that momentum. He could have committed to that last swing, but made sure of that landing.
The last of the obstacle pairs coming out. Kolesar on the far side. Sia leading the pack closest to us, but look at the speed Kolesar's gone out at.
Over, under, through for Kolesar. Straight into the flying hoops. Will he catch and release? Excellent drive from Kolesar. Dances through those giant steps, straight into those climbing holds. Goes for that second stuff. Hands moving like clockwork. Kolesar up for the finish wall.
It's going to be quick.
26 seconds for Kolesar. Mercier had to repeat those climbing holds. This will cost him points.
Cost him dearly, this will. He's came into the obstacles second after a brilliant fence and just gets to the buzzer on 41 seconds. He limited the damage there, you've got to say. But the obstacles is, well, something special to watch. It really is wonderful as we get a replay of that incredibly fast start from Kosar. I wonder if that put Morcia off.
Yeah, I mean, we see a different techniques that these athletes have tackled through the obstacle course, but it was really that technique that Kolosar performed on the tilted ladders, where he skipped to that second tilted ladder, used that one arm to go for the next one, which really sets him apart to Morcia on this course.
Well, great run from Kolosar. He's happy with that 26.05, and 26.05 is going to give him a pretty decent finish, third in the obstacles behind Salomo and Nedchik, and this is what it's done to the overall standings after the obstacle. Kolosar stays top with that 26.05 on the obstacles. Nedchik has moved up 6 places. Fluoro 1. Mohammed Shaban has moved up 7 places, and Lukash has climbed 3 into the top 6. 577 points for Lukash, and 611 for our top athlete Kolosar. Still pretty tightly packed through the middle, all the way down to Michele in 12th, just 10 points behind the 6th placed athlete. So still in the running, all of these athletes. Mohammed Hassan jumping 4, Mutas Mohammed jumping 4 as well, jumping 5 in fact. Salomo climbing 4 places, but it is a little bit further back here. 17 points away from, 13 points away from the 6th place athlete. Well, we have done the obstacles here. Bello dropping 12 places after a fail in the obstacles. He's got his work cut out for him in the swim, which is coming next. But before we go there, let's take a look back at the fabulous obstacle course race. The obstacle's done. Akim Nedchik doing a marvellous job to get himself up into 2nd in the overall standings with the course record on the obstacles. All the athletes have got to put that behind them now as they move to the pool. 8 laps of the 25-metre pool will complete the 200-metre freestyle race, and this is another discipline where the athletes are up against the clock. They'll go in 3 groups, 3 heats. 2025 Pentathlon World Cup final. Men's competition, 18 athletes left in, all vying for the top 3 places on the podium. It's time for the swim here in Alexandria. So 3 heats, the athletes will come out, and again, it's in reverse order. The athletes coming out in 6s. And we prepare for the swim, and going in the first heat is the athlete from Czechia, Marek Grich, and we had a chance to catch up with him.
I'm Czech modern pentathlete. I'm Marek Grich, and I'm 28 years old. So the OCR is the new discipline in modern pentathlon, so we are trying to find ways to originate quicker between the OCR and the swimming, because the time is quite short. It's like 10 to 15 minutes, I believe. So the time is very, very short. It's new for everyone here. It's the first season with the OCR, so we are improving. We are getting better, but obviously, as we can see, the times in the swimming pool are much slower than the last season or the previous seasons. So it's definitely affecting the swimming discipline, and we are trying to do as best as we can. Yes, it's shorter, it's more compact, and it's definitely more difficult than in last years, because the pauses are much shorter between the disciplines. And also we are doing 3 pentathlons in 4 days, because it's the qualifications, it's the semi-finals, it's the finals. Not here in the World Cup finals, it's just semis and finals. But in the World Cup and World Champs and all other competitions, it's 3 pentathlons. It's very difficult for us. So, you know, it's physically very difficult, and much more difficult than.
Yeah, good point about the 3 pentathlons in 4 days at the other competitions. It's a touch easier at the World Cup final because they start in the semi-finals. So we have the first heat coming out. The fastest 2 in this heat are Marek Grich, who we just heard from, going in lane 3, and Andras Gal in lane 4. But I've had some news that Shaban, who was scheduled to go out in the 3rd heat, has had to withdraw. We'll get final confirmation on that, but he was sitting in 4th place after the obstacles, so that would be a real disappointment for Shaban. We will get confirmation of that when the 3rd heat comes out. If lane 4 is not full, Shaban has definitely pulled out. Here though, Pau Salomo of Spain goes in lane 1, closest to us. Inside him, Roman Popov, Marek Grich, Andras Gal, Titas Peronas and Valentin Belot. An all European heat here. 8 laps of the 25-meter pool to complete here. We're looking in particular at lane 3 and lane 4 for Marek Grich of Czechia and Andras Gal of Hungary.
Looks like Roman Popov towards the bottom of your screen is taking on Grich, Czechia athlete. These 3 athletes are neck and neck in this first 50. We're looking at their split times, 28-29 seconds. Interesting to see what they carry out throughout the rest of the race. It's all about the turns in this 25-meter pool. Not only the turn, but it's that underwater and that dolphin kick just to help save your energy. But it's Grich flying through the water here in this first 100 meters. Turning on about 59 seconds. So he's keeping up the pace from that first 50. He should clock around 2 minutes if he keeps this up. You see the legs are coming out to play in this third 50. Third 50 is where it gets tough. The Hungarian Gal just keeping up to Grich. Looks like Gal got some extra juice in the tank for this last 50.
On the turn though, for this last 50, it is Grich still leading from Gal. We expected those two to be the fastest, but it looks like Grich is putting something in here to try and climb through the rankings. The ones at the top of the draw can pace themselves a little bit more easily to save energy for the laser run that comes after this event. But down in the bottom part, and look at that as Gal looks to overtake the athlete from Czechia.
Excellent stuff there from Gal. Well planned out, and it's Popov just making way. 2:08 for Popov. Peronas and below to the top of your screen on 2:13 and 2:14.
Quick time from Gal and Grich though. They could make big strides in the pool here. Fabulous first time set by Andras Gal of Hungary. 2:02.06, 2:02.80 set by Marek Grich. They have come out and they mean business. I guess you've just got to throw it all onto this and hope that you've got enough recovery time for the laser run if you are in the first heat.
Yep, and it's all about knowing yourself. It's knowing where your strengths lie, whether it be in the pool or in the laser run. And if it is in the laser run, you want to then put as much in as possible in the pool. Excellent shot we have of that underwater. And that's Grich, the Czechia athlete, in your screen. But it was here where Gal shifted gears before turning for that last 25. Flip onto the underwater, clean breakout, and put his head down for those last 15 meters.
Absolutely put the afterburners on, didn't he? Fantastic stuff from Marek Grich. Really good swim for him. Second heat is coming out now. The fastest swimmer in this heat is Mutas Mohammed going in lane 3. Roberto Micheli, as with most of the Italians, also has a quick swim, and he's at the far side of the pool. But they're being led out by Chen Bei Liang. The lad Silo Malkaziaro, the neutral athlete, in lane 2. Mohammed inside him. Then Morsia Hassan and Micheli. Second heat, and pace drops just a little bit from the obstacle course race, but have no doubt these times are super important to set these athletes up for the laser run. 2:02.06 the time to beat. Heat number 2. They are underway. The dolphin kicks that the leader was referring to shown very well there at the start.
Well, we'll be seeing Mu'taz Mohammed looking for a promising time in the swim. He's got his eyes on gold, and with that said, we know he can come through the field with his laser run. But if he puts in a promising and a strong swimming time, he's dangerous. But it looks like Micheli towards the back of your screen is turning on first on a 28-29 seconds. Looks like 27 seconds for Mohammed. Good pace there in that first 50.
Are they going to keep this up here? Mutas Mohammed has now got nearly a full body length ahead of Micheli, and he clearly feels that he needs to press the button to go faster and climb up the rankings.
Well, it's a 58-second split for Mohammed. With this pace, he's bound to clock around 2 minutes, 2:02. Third 50, picking up the pace, making every turn count. Micheli and Mohammed neck and neck.
Kelly, though, seems to have a little bit more in the tank at the moment. They are exceptionally close and turning almost together there.
Brilliant stroke rate from Mohammed, really keeping up with the pace he's set from the start, and that's that last turn. He's going to give everything. Quick dolphin kicks from Mohammed. He looks to the right where he sees Micheli. It's Micheli and Mohammed battling it out on this last stretch of the 200 meters. 2 minutes for Mohammed and 2 minutes for Micheli. Brilliant times from these two athletes, and I'll tell you, Micheli has a brilliant laser run too, so will really shift him up further up in the standings. So every second you can shave off in the swimming, you score an extra 2 modern pentathlon points. So very valuable points these two have picked up.
Have they left enough in the tank, though? That was a super fast swim from the pair of them. They're going to push themselves up the rankings, that is for sure, with those two swims. 83 points now. Mutas Mohammed is on and gets a little bit more of a break than those going in the third heat, as we see those dolphin kicks, the energy-saving dolphin kicks at the start, and they perform those at each turn as well. A chance for them to just recharge the batteries at each turn. But of course they are pushing off the wall as well, which takes a bit of effort. The harder you push off the wall, the faster you're going to complete your turn. So a lot of energy going in to the swim for both Micheli and Mohammed. Heat number 3. And we still see Mohammed Shaban in lane 4. He has the third fastest swim in this heat, but we've been told he has withdrawn. The fastest time comes from Sio, who will go in lane 5, followed by Lukesh in lane number 6. But it's Hungary's Mihaly Kolisar who leads them out, and coming into the swim led the pack of 18 after a fabulous fence and a pretty darn good obstacle course as well. So Kolisar, Nedchik, Fluro, Sio and Lukesh. And lane 4 is indeed empty. So Mohammed Shaban has withdrawn. I hope he is all right. Well, he can't continue at the World Cup final. Heat number 3 is underway. They are in the pool. Kolisar closest to us from Nedchik and Fluro. A gap in lane 4, then Sio and Lukesh. Well, nice quick question for you. Does that empty lane of lane 4 make things harder or easier for Fluro and Sio going either side of it?
Well, depends on who will be in the lane, I think. If because we know Mohammed Shaban to have a strong time too, so given that there's one less swimmer to pace against, I think that's all I could think of. But it looks like Kolisar and Floro, but it's further out in the pack, Sio taking lead of this 200 meters. Sio and Lucas, the Czechia athlete. It's Lucas taking lead here on this first 100 meters. Looking out for those split times, Lucas turns around 58. That is a similar pace that Mohammed was going at, so he should go around 2 minutes. Will Lucas look to go underneath that 2-minute benchmark?
Well, it's pretty tight, the pack here, so they are going to have to keep up the swim, even though these are the athletes, the 6 athletes or 5 athletes to show that come in to the swim in the highest positions. They didn't have a significant lead over the rest after the obstacles.
You can really see the athletes towards the closest part of your screen are higher ranked and the athletes towards the end are lower ranked. So those athletes are really looking in to put a good swim time to perhaps climb up the standings. Or are the first 3 athletes looking to save their energy. But it's these 5 and 6, Lucas and Seo, motoring through for this last bit of the 200.
Well, it's going to be Lucas' touches first with a 2:01.74 from Sio's 2:02.80. In third, Fluro 2:06.08, and then Kolisar, Nedchik, and Shaban was a DNS, didn't start, and he has gone. So the fastest time set in the second heat was a 2 minute 00:34 for Mutas Mohammed. Roberto Micheli just behind him. The 2:02.80 set by, 2:01.74 set by Lukash will put him in third place after the swim as we take a look back over that third heat. And the athletes are already starting to get themselves prepared for the laser run as we review the third heat. Lukash going off at a rate of knots for Czechia and takes the third heat. Well, the pool is done now. The swim is complete here in the men's World Cup final. Kolisar remains up the top after the swim from Nedchik, who also holds station in second place. 3 places gained by Lucas, 5 places gained by Mutas Mohammed of Egypt. As does Roberto Micheli. He gains 5 places, moving up into 7th position. And then we see a climb from Gritch, who had a great first swim, first heat swim. And down at the bottom, well, Shaban has pulled out. He didn't start in the swim. and Valentin below trying to climb from the back, but he's got a massive disadvantage. We have a combined laser run to follow, which will decide who are going to take the medals here at the World Cup final. But before we go to that, let's look back at the action from the pool. Well, the poll has done its job, and as you can see, the organisers are already starting to pack it up. We move from the swim to the final two disciplines wrapped into one. The laser run is a 3,000-metre race, 5 laps of 600 metres. The athletes will run around the first lap before coming across the start-finish line and into the range for the first of 4 visits. 10 metres, the athletes shoot the laser rifles. They need to hit the target 5 times, and then they can be released to continue their run. Once they've completed their 4th visit, it will be a dash to the finish line, and whoever crosses first will become the 2025 World Cup final champion. On its way shortly, the final 2 disciplines for the laser run, and this concludes the 2025 Pentathlon World Cup final for the men's competition. And let's take a look at the challenge the athletes face.
Well, we've managed to strap a GoPro to the head of Genevieve Janssen van Rensburg, Australian modern pentathlete, as she shows us what to do in the shooting range. We need 5 green lights before proceeding on to the running lap. So you shoot all the way through until you get those green lights. A miss is a red light. And this is the first bit of the lap. So in the laser run, we'll first have a formation lap where they run before shooting. And here you can see the loops that this course comprises of.
Yeah, and they're quite sort of wide bends, aren't they? So no massively short strides required, but the grass is heavy underfoot, especially as we go through lap by lap. Spongy, forgiving on the knees.
And it is here on the straights where all overtaking and shuffle of standings will happen.
Yeah, we've seen a lot more of that at this event, the overtakes on the track. We're used to seeing them in the range, and the range will play its part for sure as an athlete comes around to complete the lap. They'll actually run on the inside lane here through that arch on the right-hand side to cross the line and complete their 3,000 metres. There is Akim Nedchik. He's sitting in 2nd position. He has a 9-second handicap over the leading athlete, Mihaly Kolisar. Italian Roberto Micheli going in 7th position. So you've got to look at the ranking points. 906 points for Kolisar. And every point you're behind that 906 is a second of deficit. So Nedchik 9 seconds behind. It's 22 seconds behind for Mate Dukesh. And well, there is Valentin below, who is on 804 points, 102 points behind the leader. But we did have a chance to chat with Valentin.
Valentin Bello, j'ai 32 ans, je suis double champion du monde. J'ai fait 2 fois les Jeux Olympiques. Et depuis un mois tout juste, je suis jeune papa. Les transitions, on a intégré ça il y a maintenant 7 ans, donc on commence à s'y habituer maintenant. Au début, c'était un peu un bouleversement parce qu'à chaque fois, on avait 1 heure entre chaque épreuve. Maintenant, on a entre 15 et 20 minutes. Moi, j'aime bien parce que ça dynamise, même pour le public, c'est plus sympa à suivre. Ça fait moins de temps mort. Et en tant qu'athlète, en fait, on s'est habitué dans le temps. C'est vrai qu'on a eu l'habitude avec le pentathlon d'avoir les épreuves qui évoluent dans le temps. Et là, les transitions, je trouvais ça assez excitant parce qu'on se mettait à préparer nos affaires un peu comme en triathlon pour que tout soit prêt, pour essayer d'optimiser notre temps, récupérer un maximum. Mais pour s'y préparer, moi, je sais qu'à l'entraînement, souvent, j'enchaîne les épreuves sans avoir le chrono des 15-20 minutes quand même pour avoir en compétition, mais enchaîner les efforts parce que d'une discipline à l'autre, on a besoin de compétences différentes. Et du coup, les avoir tout de suite au tac, c'est vrai que ça s'entraîne à l'entraînement. Et c'est comme ça que je me prépare pour les compétitions.
Well, congratulations. New father, Valentin Belot. That's not hard enough. He's taking on the World Cup final. And had that baby with his partner and fellow pentathlete, Elodie Clouvel. Kaylee going out 7th, he's 30 seconds off the pace. Now, we saw Bello come from behind. He had a struggle in the semi-finals as well, but he only had to make the top 9 to get through to the World Cup final. In a word, has he got any chance here of touching the podium?
Podium, it will be, who is 140 behind, so it will be tricky, but have a look at these standings and how close all the top 6 athletes will be getting off for the laser run. From
3 to 6, just a second between them, and down to 7th, who goes out 7 seconds later. Michele sitting in 7th place, but that gaggle of 4 from Lucas, Mohamed, Sio and Fluro are going to be really, really interesting to watch. Michele, 7 seconds back, and it goes out in a gaggle of athletes as well, with Mel Kazioro and Chen not too far behind him. Rich and Hassan will go out almost together, and then there's another 8 seconds back to Gal. This is where the drop-off really begins, though, and Popov, Murcia, Salomo, Kronos and Bello are all going to struggle to get through to the podium. But saying that, we've got to keep an eye on the range, because that is where these athletes could make a massive difference. If they can just shave a few seconds off each lap that they trail from the person in front of them and have a good shoot, they can climb up through the rankings. Grich from Czechia goes out 43 seconds behind the leader in 10th position. And Nedchik is out second, 9 seconds off Kolesar. There is the man that the home nation are all rooting for, Mutas Mohammed, 23 seconds back from Kolesar as the athletes make their way over to the start-finish line.
This is where tension rises. It's the wait for the countdown for the start of the laser run.
We've got a motorsport style leaderboard graphic that comes up on the left-hand side. It'll show you where the athletes are, and it'll also show you the green and red lights when they go into the range. You'll also see some split times across the bottom third of your screen, where we'll compare athletes in the range and on the run. The times that we've seen set in the range have blown us away here. Time to go for the laser run. This for the World Cup final title. Mihaly Kolesar of Hungary is ready to go. And off he sets. The Hungarian has a 9-second lead over Akim Nedchik, the neutral athlete who is about to get released. Here he goes. Coming out after him, that is a full 13 seconds later, is Matej Lukash from Czechia, taking a deep breath. And then we'll have a gaggle of Mohamed, Sio and Floro following out together in a 3. There they go. Michele will be out next, the Italian, going in 7th position, and he is up and running, and Mel Kazioro is off as well. Chen will not be too far behind, and then coming out will be Marek Grich, and a cheer from the crowd as they come past the main stand. Grich followed by Chen, Hassan is out as well. Popov joins them. Mosia, Salomo and Peronas coming out shortly. But out front, it's Mihaly Kolesar. Kolesar coming up the second part of the inner loop. And we've seen that the trailing pack in positions 3, 4 and 5 are running together as a group. They are pacing themselves in 3, 4 and 5. There is Nedchik coming to us around into the final bend before the home straight. And it looks like he's gained a little on Kolesar, but the pack behind him are in the hunt for medals here. It's super hot out in the stadium as Kolesar is just about to come into the range around this final bend, and Kolesar will be the first into the range. He's held the lead from the start, and here he is.
With a shake of her arm straight into the shooting range. It's the first green light for Kolesar. Look at that shooting accuracy you can see on the right-hand side of your screen. Kolesar is sitting on 2, 3 green lights. It's Nedchik chasing down Kolesar in the shooting range. 4 green lights for Kolesar. Kolesar is out for the lap, but it's Seo on 2 green lights here. Nedchik out of the range. Seo, Fleureau.
Mutas Muhammad just struggling a little bit with his shoot. He got up into 3rd place coming into the range, but he won't be coming out in 3rd place. Fleureau and Seo climbing the ranks. Kolesar, Nedchik, Fleureau, Seo, Lucas Muhammad. They are all within 16 seconds of each other as Mutas Muhammad starts to hunt down Lucas.
What it looks like, it's Fleureau and Seo fighting neck and neck for that 3rd position. It is still early days in this laser run. It's the 2nd lap out of 5. Fleureau and Seo closing the gap onto Nedchik now.
Yeah, Nedchik had a look over his shoulder there, a bit of a giveaway in 2nd place as Kolesar looking comfortable out front. He's not bursting the afterburners just yet, and looks like he's got a smooth running pace going there as we look at Fleureau. Fleureau and Seo chasing down Nedchik, and Mutas Muhammad is also in the pack chasing down, wearing number 4, coming out and around the 2 that were in front of him. He's overtaken Fleureau and Seo, and Nedchik is in his sights. Mutas Muhammad has already moved up through the order, and they are now reeling in the leader, Kolesar. They've got him in sight here. There is around about 14 meters as Mutas Muhammad goes up into 2nd place. This shoot is going to be super important as Kolesar comes into the range.
Well, Muhammad really had to catch up after that first shooting series. He fell behind, but he caught back up with the run. Let's see what these athletes can do in the shooting range. They all enter at the same time. It is down to the shooting. And they're all sitting on 1 light, but it seems like Muhammad is taking the lead on 3 green lights. But look at Seo, 4 green lights for Seo. Seo is out of the range. Fleureau and Kolesar, these 3 athletes neck and neck, but not too far behind is Lucas and Muhammad. Muhammad put a run in to catch up with this group.
Nedchik is out of the range as well in 6th place, but look at this group up front. We knew this was going to be tight, and it's the Frenchman Fleureau who takes the lead from Seo. And Lucas has taken out Kolesar. Those are the top 3 now, with Mutas Muhammad trailing in 5th. They are still tightly packed. This run is perhaps where we're going to see an athlete break away. Fleureau putting down a little bit more extra pressure, has just opened up a bit of a gap to the trailing pack. But here comes Mutas Muhammad back into 2nd place, and he is going after the Frenchman. And Mutas Muhammad on the 2nd lap has taken the lead here on home soil, and he looks like he is just out for a jog in the park.
Mutas Muhammad really redeems himself with the running, but it's Mutas Muhammad, Fleureau and Lucas, your top 3 so far. Seo looking to fight for that bronze medal with Lucas, but it's Murtaz Mohammed creating a gap here.
Kolasar and Nedchik have been dropped by these four, and at this stage of the race, it could be a race that will see the four athletes trying to get the 3 medals, the 3 podium places. Murtaz Mohammed has set this final alight here. He leads coming in to the 3rd visit of 4 to the range. He comes around the bend. He's got about a 9-meter lead over Fleureau. It's the shoot that is so important right now.
Fleureau and Mohammed, Lucas in the range. 2 green lights for Mohammed. 3 green lights for Mohammed. Fleureau sitting on that 2 green lights. It is a 7-second shoot for Mohammed, and Fleureau is sitting on those 4 green lights. He's out of the range. Lucas on 4 green lights. Lucas out of the range. It is Mohammed, Fleureau, and Lucas on your 4th running lap.
Yeah, they've broken away from Seo, the group of 3 here, and Murtaz Mohammed is putting in another big display in the laser run. He has broken away from the 3 chasing him down. Holding on is Kolasar, who had a great shoot himself, but Murtaz Mohammed is pressing the go faster button here. He has opened up a 15-meter lead over 2nd place Fleureau. This is some run. Fleureau in silver medal position, chasing down Murtaz Mohammed, but I'm not sure he's got enough in the tank here. He is keeping that gap at around about 15 to 18 meters. Maybe a touch more. And coming up in 3rd place, Lucas from Czechia. He looks like he's standing tall and pumping those arms. He's still got plenty of energy sitting in the bronze medal position.
It looks like Murtaz Mohammed is really just stretching out that lead he has got. He's now on his way for his 4th and last shooting series. This is all what it takes. This is all where it comes down to, and he knows it.
Just over 7 seconds in the range last time out as Fleureau and Lukash come in almost together. Lukash has gained ground on that lap as Mohammed gets into the range. He begins his shoot, misses the 1st, misses the 2nd, gets the 3rd. Accuracy target there for Lucas, getting a 1st, 2nd.
Well, it's 3 green lights for Mohammed and Fleureau. But it's Mohammed out of the range. Fleureau sitting on those 4 green lights, but it's Lucas. And it's Fleureau out of the range. Lucas sitting on that 4th green light. We are bound to see your next silver and gold medalist, but it's Lucas treading through for his final lap.
And Lucas is really going for it here. He's on a full sprint to chase down Fleureau. He wants that silver medal. I don't think anyone's going to catch Murtaz Mohammed because he's also opened up the taps. But look at Lucas in the background catching up Fleureau here. He's absolutely powering it here, and there is the lead that Murtaz Mohammed has. And Lucas still grinding and pumping the arms, trying to catch Fleureau for the silver medal here. Murtaz Mohammed, who defended his junior world title last weekend in Hungary, has opened up a massive lead, and he is still absolutely hammering it. Fleureau and Lucas. Lucas, I think, is going to take him here. Lucas comes around the straight and around Fleureau. Fleureau tiring, looks over his shoulder to see if there's anyone there behind him. He looks like he's settled for the bronze, but what a run from Lucas as Murtaz Mohammed comes into the home straight, still powering the arms. Murtaz Mohammed is going to cross the line as a deserving World Cup final champion on home soil here in Alexandria, and Lucas is pumping those arms for a brilliant silver medal. He sprinted the last lap for the silver. Fleureau was able to ease off a little bit as he collects the bronze medal, and we knew that was going to be tight. It was spectacular. indeed from the three medalists, but Mutaz Muhammad put in an absolutely blinding run, taking the lead on the second lap as the remainder of the field come through. Sio pumping through. Is he going to get crossed on the line? He does get crossed on the line by Morsia in fourth. Sio finishing fifth. Gal in sixth, then Nedchik seventh. Kolosar, who started in the lead, finished eighth. Popov just behind him. Micheli in 10th as Marek Grich crosses the line in 11th place. There's a little bit of a gap back to Salomo from Spain, who will finish 12th. Hassan was overtaken in the final bend, so it will be Mel Cazioro who finishes in 13th, Hassan 14th, Peronas grinding out the remainder of the 3,000 meters, finishes 15th, and Chen comes in to the home straight here.
UIPM 2025 Pentathlon World Cup.
He will finish in 16th position, and Bello, the Frenchman who suffered with the obstacles, will finish the race in 17th place. Chen crosses the line in 16th, and Bello completes the lineup. Shaban unfortunately had to pull out after the obstacles. He will be placed in 18th at the end of this, but what a run from Mutaz Muhammad. Stunning, stunning performance from the Egyptian. We knew he was going to be a threat to the podium, but we knew it was also going to be super tight. Lukash performing so well, along with Fleureau, who saved his shoots in the range, the best shoots to last. Just got pipped on the last lap in the final 150 meters by Lukash. Looked over his shoulder, knew he was safe with the bronze, and gets the congratulations of his teammates. Wonderful, wonderful finale to the men's World Cup final. What a brilliant sprint finish from Mate Lukash from Czechia for a very solid silver medal.
360 camera beside the podium.
That is the man of the moment, Mutaz Muhammad. There is no stopping the Egyptians in pentathlon at the moment. Farida Khalil taking the women's title on home soil, and it's been a special event for the fans here in Egypt because they've just seen Mutaz Muhammad come over. Now we have a replay of the race. Kolosar starting out first, had a little bit of a lead, 9 seconds. He came out, but Nedchik was behind him. Kolosar got into the range first and got out of the first shoot first as well. This stage, he looked pretty comfortable, but the conditions here are absolutely brutal. Nedchik followed him out, so first and second stayed where they were, but this was where the change-up happened. Fleureau jumping up along with Sio, and in the chasing pack, Mutaz Muhammad was making a move as well, and it was on that second lap that Mutaz Muhammad just said, I am going to get out and get into a medal position here. Got up into silver, and coming out of the range in a gaggle as Muhammad struggled a little bit, the Frenchman took to the front. Hugo Fleureau, chased now by Muhammad, with Kolosar having been swept up and swallowed up by the faster laser runners. From this point on, once Mutaz Muhammad had overtaken, there was no beating him. Fleureau perhaps put in a little bit too much to keep up with Muhammad on the run, but as they came out for the third shoot, Fleureau held on, and Lukash made his move into third position. From the fourth shoot, Muhammad was up and running. Just Lukash and Fleureau in the range before Sio joins them. But then this stunning run from Mate Lukash, overtaking Floro in the final 150 meters. Mutas Mohammed clearly in the lead. And Lukash still sprinting as Mohammed crosses the line for gold. He said he wanted the gold here last weekend when he defended his junior world title. Lukash, though, a power run through the last 600 meters and over the line for a well-deserved silver. Floro had checked behind him, knew he was safe, was able just to ease up and cross the line for the bronze medal. And Mohammed there waiting for Hassan to cross the line. Floro getting the plaudits from the French team. Mutas Mohammed taking gold with the silver medalist Mate Lukash. Simply stunning. And he is absolutely delighted. What a way to finish the Men's World Cup final. Climbing 3 places into the top spot and gold medal. The title goes to Mutas Mohammed of Egypt. Mate Lukash of Czechia climbed a single place in the laser run to take the silver. And Ugo Floro climbed 3 to take the bronze medal. It was his teammate Morsier who came from 10 places back to finish 4th, and he wasn't a huge amount of time behind, overtaking Sio on the line to steal 4th place. We come back through the rest of the field. Unfortunately, Mohamed Shaban was unable to compete from the swim, and Bello, despite a valiant effort, was unable to make a dent in his position, finishing 17th. But I believe Alida is with the bronze medalist. Over to you, Alida.
Ugo, congratulations on your bronze medal. You started off in 6th position in the laser run. You fought your way through to bronze medal. Tell us exactly what this bronze medal means to you.
It means a lot. A year of dedication after Olympic 2024. It was a lot of training. I know I was capable of doing that kind of performance. I just have to be focused, mental. It was very hard day because I was in difficult shape. A lot of stomach ache during the laser run since the first lap. So I try to manage my touching so to not push a lot in running, and I'm very happy with this performance today.
Excellent stuff, Ugo. And going on with the season, you still have European Championships, Senior World Championships. What will you do to prepare for these, or will you take a bit of a break?
I will have 3 days break, but I'm now focused on European and World Championship. It's still 2 more competitions, still more 2 goals, and I want to be consistent and be on podium at each competition. So that I want to do, that I want to train for, and that's all.
Excellent, excellent. And you have family, friends, and even fans watching back home. Here's a chance to send them a message.
Merci à tous ceux qui m'ont regardé, soutenu. Je t'oublie pas, Charlotte, cette fois. Merci à toi. C'est aussi grâce à toi. Merci à mes parents, mon frère, toute ma famille. Bisous à tout le monde, mes amis. Tout ça, c'est grâce à vous. Je suis hyper content. Et on continue, c'est que le début, j'ai dit. Donc on ira jusqu'à 2028 ensemble.
Well, excellent. And congratulations once again on your bronze medal. You should really be pleased with that. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
God, tough enough when you're fighting fit, but struggling with stomach cramps around the last lap. Will offer us some insight as to how he was overtaken by the flying athlete from Czechia. Great to hear him thanking his mum and dad for their support, his girlfriend, and I believe he was thanking his sister as well, who perhaps is involved in helping him train. Superb stuff from Ugo Floro to take the bronze medal here in the men's competition. Tremendous performance, though, from the man who finished in the silver medal position the overtake, the sprint in the last lap was something to behold. Absolutely stunning stuff. And he's not realised that he was going to get interviewed, and I can see him being escorted across to the interview position. He's just had another little run after that massive sprint, and a leader is with the silver medalist.
Yeah, congratulations on your silver medal. You started off in 3rd position. You did not settle for bronze. You fought for that silver medal. What was going through your head on that final stretch?
I don't know, I have clean mind and just run. My legs was empty, my head is empty, and just run.
Awesome stuff, awesome. And now going on with the season, what do you plan to do? What are your next goals? How will you be recovering? What will you do after this competition?
Probably, I don't know if I start on the relay, 2 days for that, and after that we have European Championships, so next goal is European Championship in Madrid.
Awesome, and you had a wonderful obstacle course today. What is one thing that you think you'll want to work on in your obstacle course, and how would you practice and improve this?
This is really hard for us who last year ride on the horse, and this is a really big chance, and for me also because in November I 6 weeks no training, so really hard for me. But today I made really big mistake on leathers, so I don't understand why I'm starting 3rd because it's not good for me. This and fencing also not good. But solid swim, and I don't saw my time, but probably solid run. So I'm really happy and don't understand how I made it.
Well, that's amazing, and you should be really proud of this medal. You have friends and family watching back home. Send them a message as they're watching live on TV.
In English or Czech? Takže děkuju moc. Děkuji všem, kdo mi fandili. Moc si to vážím. Čau babi, čau dědo, čau Páťo, čau tati do Ameriky. Brácha Šimon, Adam Jeník. Všechny vás miluju a prostě je to tam. A mami, čau.
Awesome stuff. Congratulations.
Gotta love a bit of emotion, haven't you? That was brilliant from Matej Lukáš, the athlete from Czechia. God, he's saying not very good at the fence, not very good at the obstacles. Imagine what he can do if he improves those 2 disciplines. I tell you what, he's one heck of a runner. Not only did he sprint the last lap here, but he also had to sprint back out to the venue for that interview. But the man of the moment on home soil, Mutas Muhammad, having defended his junior world title last weekend, is with Elida, the new World Cup final champion.
Well, Mutas, you're setting a gold medal streak here. Incredible stuff in Alexandria. What motivates you to get all these medals, and how do you start your mentality from the fencing all the way through to the laser run?
If you really want to know what is my motivation, you should look up in the stairs right there. My family, my friends, they are the most incredible thing in this competition. That's what helped me today to achieve this. I'm really very happy. I really can't express how I'm feeling. I'm really over the moon, so I'm very happy.
Incredible. And we see you really tackling those obstacles brilliantly. You're making use of different techniques. How was your experience learning the obstacles from the beginning of the season?
It was very difficult and challenging. After changing from horse riding to OCR, it was a different and somehow challenging experience. But as a modern pentathlete, you have to adapt. So I try to adapt minute by minute, after competition after competition. Every competition gave me the courage to do the next competition. So I managed to be an average or a great athlete in the OCR, and today I think I did a great time in the OCR. So that's how done.
Well, you should be really proud of yourself, and so are your family and friends watching back home. Now's your chance to send them a little message.
الحمد لله الحمد لله. أنا مش عارف أنا ممكن أقول إيه عشان أعبر عن اللي جوايا دلوقتي، بس فعلا وجودكم معايا النهارده فرق معايا كتير جدا. يعني مش عارف أقول والله. بس أنا مبسوط جدا بدعمكم ليا، بابا وماما مدربيني ودكاتره اللي معايا ومتابعاني، دكتور محسن ودكتور عبد الرحمن. كلكم تعبتوا معايا جدا الفتره اللي فاتت. الحمد لله، وان شاء الله من نجاح لنجاح، وان شاء الله نقدر خطوه بخطوه كده ونحقق انجازات كبيره باذن الله.
Well, excellent stuff. You are now the World Cup final champion. Congratulations, Motas.
Thank you.
Oh, brought a tear to my eye, that did. Amazing. All that effort that goes in for the training for these pentathletes coming to the fore, all the emotion pouring out. Mutas Muhammad, absolutely amazing to see that emotion. All the hard work and grit came in and on site in that interview with the leader, Van der Merwe. And there he was, checking the start list to see where he was going to come out. Kolesar started the men's final laser run. The two disciplines combined to create a thrilling finish to the competition here at the 2025 World Cup final. Kolesar got into the range first at the first shoot and came out first as well. At this point, he looked comfortable, but you just had the sense that he may well have pushed a little too hard early. Nedchik, who'd started second, came out second from the first shoot, and then the move from behind. Fleuro taking third position with Sio coming up behind him, but wearing number 4, Mutas Muhammad was now properly in the hunt for the medals. He said enough's enough and took both Sio and Fleuro with ease before passing Nedchik into second place. He closed the gap on Kolesar, but it was in fact Sio that left the range first after a little bit of a wobble from Mutas Muhammad. Kolesar getting swept up as Fleuro decided it was time to put down the accelerator. He took to the lead, but Mutas Muhammad saw the move from the Frenchman and he said, right, I'm going to go after you as well. Moving in to first position, it was then a case of how much did he put down to secure the gold medal. Came into the range for the third time after a tricky second shoot. Muhammad showed everyone how it was done. 7 seconds and some change, and he was gone and clear, and he knew at this point that he had enough left in the tank to push on for the gold medal. Fleuro came out second, and Lukasz on the third shoot stole the bronze medal position. From then on, it was all about how hard Mutas Muhammad would go. He finished his final shoot, and you could see from the body reaction that he knew the gold was his for the taking. Fleuro came out clear ahead of Lukasz, but Lukasz from Czechia absolutely flew out of the range. He sprinted his way to the back of Fleuro, and Hugo Fleuro just had absolutely nothing left. As he said in his interview, he was getting stomach cramps at this point. Mutas Muhammad carried on with his hard pace to take the title here in Alexandria, and the joy exploded from his face as he crossed the line, raising his hat to his family, friends and fans in the stands here in Alexandria. The sprint from Mate Lukasz was something to behold, and it earned him the silver medal as Fleuro jogged over the line, knowing that there was no one close behind him. He took the bronze medal. Hassan, a special moment with the new champion, crossed the line outside the medals, but it was celebrations for the French team. Fleuro making it over for the bronze medal, and a hug from the silver medalist for the gold medalist, Lukasz. What a performance from him. But Mutas Muhammad is making a statement here in the world of pentathlon. The new era of pentathlon currently owned by the Egyptians, and they've done it here on home soil. So confirmation of the final standings. Mutaz Mohammed taking gold from Mate Lukesh. He'll take the silver medal for Czechia. Hugo Fleureau collecting the bronze for France. And it was a special run right at the end from Jean-Baptiste Monsieur to finish in 4th place, pipping Seo Chang-won of Korea on the line. Andras Gal of Hungary completing the top 6, climbing 6 places himself. Ned Chickett started 2nd, finished 7th. Korosar, who started at the front, dropped 7 places to 8th. There's a rise of 4 places for Roman Popov. Micheli and Grich also lost places. Pal Salomo did a great job for Spain, finishing in 12th position. He was clear in the end of the rest of the pack. We were cut down to 17 runners as Mohamed Shaban pulled out before the swim. Alcazioro dropped 5 in the run to finish in 13th place. All that remains here is the podium. Time for the award ceremony for the men's competition here at the UIPM 2025 Pentathlon World Cup Final. Well, the stage is set, the crowd are around, but I just saw the athletes making their way over there, so it gives me a chance to have a final word with the leader, Van der Merwe. Well done on the interviews, fabulous questions, great answers. What a performance though in the end.
Really incredible how everything folded out and came through, but it's the star of the show, Mutaz Mohammed, and we'll see more of him throughout this format.
Here comes Rob Stall, president of the UIPM, the International Modern Pentathlon Federation, leading out the presentation party. There's quite a few people in the presentation party. And here come the athletes for the award ceremony. Great to see the top 6 out, the minor placings getting their moment in the spotlight. Andras Gal of Hungary finishing in 6th place. Seo Chang-won, he'll be looking over his shoulder in the next laser run because he got pipped at the post by this man here, Jean-Baptiste Monsieur of France, taking 4th place. And these 3 will receive certificates and flowers from the presentation party here in Alexandria. It was a great run from Monsieur at the end to pip Seo at the post.
Yeah, I think it was about 10 places that Monsieur picked up. It was just that obstacle that he missed out on, but great stuff from Monsieur.
Sixth position, Andras Gal, Hungary. 5th position, Chang-won Seo, Korea. 4th position, Jean-Baptiste Monsieur, France.
So Gal, Seo and Monsieur 6th, 5th and 4th, just outside the medals. But great to see them in a moment in the spotlight. And now for the medalists. Brilliant determination from Hugo Fleureau, suffering from stomach cramps through the laser run. He still managed to hold on for the bronze medal here at the 2025 World Cup Final. Those medals were sitting on the commentary desk at the beginning of the session. We got a jolly good look at them, and they are blooming lovely, aren't they?
They're really gorgeous. Congratulations to Hugo Fleureau.
Winner of the silver medal of the long competition.
Well, you don't ever want to have this man behind you if you're in a race for the line. He is full of emotion, brimming with emotion, and he said, my fence isn't that good, nor are my obstacles. Imagine what he's going to be like when he improves those. Mate Lukasz from Czechia getting the silver medal with a run of his lifetime. Smile says it all. Well, I think we can forgive the stadium announcer for his biased presentation of the home soil's very own Mutas Mohammed, who has taken gold here in Alexandria, just up the road from his hometown of Cairo. Mutas Mohammed has followed up defending his junior world title last weekend by taking his first World Cup final title here on home soil. Tremendous athlete, tremendous personality, and showing all his emotion in his interview as well. It means so much to this young man, and this is just the very beginning. We're going to see loads more of Mutas Mohammed, the new champion.
Stand up for the Egyptian national anthem.
He gets to celebrate, of course, with his national anthem. Brilliant stuff there. The new World Cup final champion from Egypt, in Egypt, is Mutas Mohammed. Silver medal going to Mate Lukasz of Czechia after a spectacular run on the last lap of the laser run. And Hugo Fleureau of France with the bronze medal here. You feeling a little emotional yourself, being an African, watching an African take gold here?
I'm actually over the moon for Mutas Mohammed. He's such a friendly character off field, and he really deserves it all. So really over the moon for him.
It's been fabulous having you in the commentary box, a leader. You've given us great insight to this magical sport. It's been a pleasure having you in the commentary box, and I hope you'll be joining us for the World Championships next month.
Yeah, it'll be great stuff. Exciting action to commence.
Well, thanks to you, Alida, and thanks to all of you for watching this spectacular sport. And the 2025 World Cup final has come to an end. We'll see you next time.
من مستشفى الأندلسية القائمين برعاية جميع اللاعبين